Feels like a bit of a milestone. The solar frame is complete. It is time to say goodbye to the grow what? This. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this one we're going to be building this, our 5 kilowatt tilting solar array. And we also make some pretty big upgrades both to our inverter and our batteries. Turn this off and take down our old structure, get all the solar panels taken apart. There is still quite a bit left to do towards the construction of the new solar frame, but we're at a point now where I have to be working on these 3 posts, and the risk of dropping something, a drill or something like that, it's just not worth the risk to damage a panel. So we're going to get this off out the way, and then we can get really good access and work right around these. So yeah, feels like a bit of a milestone. You pop it in the tub. That's it, good girl. This will hinge right the way over, like that, maybe. That one? Good girl, thank you. That one's broken. Careful with the screwdriver in your hand. That's it, good girl. Thank you. Do you want to do these ones? Okay, well, taking it all apart, and yeah, pretty much. I remember somebody commenting on this video when I did the video for building this, saying you should at the very least have burnt the wood, which I remember thinking after then, yeah, you're definitely right, especially knowing what I know now. But yeah, basically that centre post rotted out. It actually looks like I must have cut a bit of a taper on here to make it a bit of a spike to hammer in the ground. But I mean, hilarious that that's the ground level there. So I put, what, maybe 25 centimetres, providing that it does look that way. So I don't know what I was thinking. I know that this was all designed to be a temporary setup. And to be honest with you, I don't know how long I was really intending it to last, maybe a year. And it's done longer than that, so I suppose that's good. But yeah, I am surprised that's rotted out as quick as that has. Anyway, there's your answer. Just trying to get this post out of the ground, which is in there pretty firm. Just put a screw through with the chain on it, and just try and use some old school leverage. Yay! This post, this ground level here, is actually the highest ground level of the 3. So I've used this one as my datum point because we want to make sure that when we tip the panels that they can go all the way and they're not going to hit the ground or anything. So we take the highest point and measure everything from that. When the panels are tilted up pretty much vertically, the bottom of the panel should be about 30 centimetres, 300 mil off of the floor. So what I've then done is use that datum point and work my way up, referring back to my plan. And I've worked out my pivot point, and then from there,
my maximum allowance for the top of my post as well, because obviously these panels will have the ability to go right over, and we need to make sure that they're not going to foul on the post when it comes up or tilts one way or the other. I've then put in this temporary shelf up here, which is just a couple of bits of 4x2 from the old solar frame, and I've set my laser level up. That laser is currently running on the pivot point, and so I can now then use this as the reader, and I've got this on its tightest tolerance setting, which is actually 1 mil tolerance. When you get a constant beep, we're bang on. Okay.
This is Phil's usual position of, I'm going to stand here and contemplate my next move. And then I'll move.
You taking the mickey out of me?
I am.
Listen.
I feel like this is what guys do.
Yeah. All us men with projects in our heads, and women probably, with projects in our heads that don't tend to be like paper people. We tend to just map it out in our brains. We spend half the time of a project doing this, and you stand at different angles, and you look at it, and you're weighing it up. And I'm talking like we're going through the whole process mentally now. We drill those, then we need that, then we need those on, then they've got to be fixed, but we can't fix those until this is done, and then they need to be welded, but we can't weld those until we know the position of these.
I don't know. I think as women we just get on with it.
Just put that over the top, and away we go. Pretty much there at full depth. Turn over, you've got the centre point, the centre drills come through, and just to finish off this way. And there we go. And there basically is the finished article. They are, hopefully you can hear me all right, they are both lightly shushugi band.
So this morning we've been out to the steel suppliers and we have got 5 lengths of 80 by 40 by 3mm thick box section and some flat bar which is 40mm wide by 5mm thick. And these are going to make our supports that go across here that the panel's actually going to mount to. So the panels are going to go across this way. And the reason we've gone for such heavy duty stuff, these basically are the structure of the frame. So these play quite a critical role and they will be in this orientation. So they're going to really reduce any sag in there. And this is what's going to sort of tie everything together, if that makes sense. These are 6 metre lengths, which is standard for steel size. And we need just under 7 metres. So it's just typical. What I've decided to do is to cut another metre long section out of one of these and weld it onto the end. Hopefully, without having a nice level welding table or anything, hopefully I can get these as level and straight as possible, because it will affect the whole frame if I don't. I've got some proper school-like science class goggles, safety goggles. Twice I always wear safety glasses and ear defenders or earplugs, and twice I had to go to hospital for metal in my eye. One time I had to be clamped down, in my head had to be clamped in a frame. My eye held open and then they picked the metal out with a needle. Sorry if you're squeamish. It was really, really rough. And then the second time wasn't quite as bad as that. But both times I was wearing safety glasses and it came up under here and I felt it go in. So I just don't take that risk anymore when I'm cutting metal, especially out here. Like, we're miles away from a good hospital. Also, we just don't need it, do you? You know? You just don't need it. So, yeah, excuse the goggles. When it comes to metalwork, safety first. I will still cut a tree down in flip-flops, that's fine. It's not lost on me that I say safety first and then proceed to use an angle grinder without a discard. So I've got this other bit of rectangular block section here, and then this is my original piece that I need to extend. This is the added section, and it's just a matter of welding them in together like that. I've just done 4 tacks in each corner, and then I'm gonna just do short stitch welds to spread the heat out to make sure we don't get too much warping, so we can get rid of the clamps and get right round it. Still so chuffed with that. Yeah. What we're doing to clamp the panels to the rails is we're using riv nuts, and that is basically these little inserts here, and what they are is threaded inside, and it's a cross between a rivet and a captive nut. Well, it is a captive nut, but it works like a rivet. So you've got this special tool, and you wind the insert on the end. You've got a 9mm hole. We pop the insert and the tool in, push the two handles together on the tool, and then if you watch in here, this will basically fold up and clamp onto the steel, and as it does that, it grips the steel. You can then unwind the tool, and then with that, that gives you a M6 captive nut to thread a bolt into. Obviously we've got the riv nuts into the steel, and then we've got these which are 80mm M6 bolts. So we've got a small washer on the top, and then we've got these which is like a nylon washer. How did we get those nylon washers? How did we make them? Edit now to how we made them. With this is an old plastic chopping board, and this is absolutely perfect for this. So it's nice and smooth, and it's fairly thick material, and I'm just using a hole saw, and that hole saw works out at the perfect size to create our washer. So the offcut of the hole saw is the perfect size for the washer, which is just ideal. How very resourceful and clever of you, Philip. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, they'll work a treat for what we need to do. That one in there, and that one in there. Okay. Okay, so what were we, 30 on the dot down there?
I think I've just dropped it.
Drop what?
I think
Oh, for goodness sake, Kelly, you had one job. Yeah, we need to go up. Okay, you reckon you can hold that back there?
Yep.
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah.
Scary seeing him like that, isn't it?
I trust your ability and everything.
Can you hold it there?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm in a guillotine right now.
You okay there? Mm-hmm. Don't fart, sneeze, breathe. One. Oh, we've hit the top of the post. I haven't cut the post right. I thought that the only issue post was this one. It's not, it's that one too.
Have we hit it?
Yeah, with the panel. Such a flipping idiot. Go.
Can I relax?
2 seconds. Yes.
Thank you.
You might just be able to tell on camera that we've got a silver frame here and a black frame. So this panel on the left, the silver framed one, we actually bought 2 more. We can't find any more of these Canadian solar panels that we bought. They're now, 2 or 3 years old, and they're already old hat. They're already old technology that they're no longer producing, and so there's only old stock that people have, and we can't find them. So when we went into Practica, which is like our big B&Q hardware shop, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever, these were on offer, and they were so cheap that I was like, we'd be mental not to buy them to complete our array. So we've bought 2 of these panels. These are just a really cheap panel from Practica. They cost us less than £50 each, which is just bonkers. When we bought these Canadian solar panels, they were £115 each. And then when they went on offer, the cheapest we found them was £70 each. So yeah, quite a bit cheaper, and then these are much cheaper still. However, that does show, you can definitely tell the difference in a quality panel and a cheaper produced panel. And there will be cell failures on here way before there is on those Canadian Solar. But these were so cheap, and the outputs are almost exactly the same as our Canadian Solar panels. So we just thought we'd get 2 of these, put them on the end, and we're done. 2, 1.
Okay.
And then that ratchet strap should go tight when we get to the right position.
There.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like flipping that's never going to get old. Last panel going in.
That is amazing.
And just like that, the solar frame is complete. We've still got a lot to do, wiring and everything, but sheet is up. It is incredibly heavy. However, it balances pretty well. You can see at this angle, I can literally move this whole frame with just one finger, no problem at all. But once it gets lower, the weight starts adding up and it starts to run away. So you just got to make sure you can support that. Yeah, so for the minute, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use ratchet straps to hold this all in, and maybe chains going down to these rebar eyes that I put into the concrete. That's just going to hold it for the minute. In the future, my plan is to have metal bars that go between here and here, and we're going to adjust this basically 4 times a year, so for the seasons, and there'll just be different length steel pipes, steel tubes, steel box section that we just clip in either end. So you just bring it down to the right angle, clip it in, and they'll just be marked up with the season. The panels are all wired up. I've done it really nice and neat where they all tie into each other. Obviously these are all wired in series, so we've got 12 in series here, and this panel and this panel are the 2 ends, and so they join here into the box. All of this cabling's just bodged at the minute for 2 reasons. One, the batteries are getting low and we could do with the power, and it's a nice sunny day. Reason 2 is because it's Saturday lunchtime and you are due to have this video tomorrow, Sunday. All being well, I should be able to flick this switch, nobody dies, nobody explodes, everything's quiet, and we start making power. Fingers crossed. I'm still alive, so that's a good thing. No explosions, no bangs. Let me check the app. Right there, that number there, right there, 1500 watts of solar. So there's a lot more work here to do, but for the moment we are charging the batteries again, which is the main thing. Let's lower away. So we were getting 1500 watts a minute ago, or thereabouts. Let's go up. I reckon about there somewhere. The actual inverter is getting 5,200 watts. Wow. And they're grubby. So we are currently charging the batteries at 4.9 kilowatts, with 207 watts being used by our property right now. Wow. What do you reckon though? Pretty damn cool, I think. I am very, very, very happy with this. It is time to say goodbye to the Grow Watt. Now, to be honest with you, this has been a brilliant inverter. It hasn't actually let us down, but there's a few features that I don't like about it, and we're also now heating our hot water electrically, and that means we are running right near the capacity of this. So if the hot water's on and we're using other big powerful tools, then we are really close to exceeding the capacity of this. This is only 5 kilowatts. So it's time for an upgrade. I've also had to take the dongle out. And this dongle is what plugs into the bottom, connects to the Wi-Fi and allows you to monitor what's going on basically remotely. Now, this uploads to a GrowWatt server, and GrowWatt are working really, really hard to remove all third-party batteries. So GrowWatt make their own batteries, and they're making their inverters only work with GrowWatt batteries. Now, that's fine as a new product. I don't agree with it because I think that it should be up to the consumer to choose, but they're pretty open about it when you buy the inverter, so you know that now. But what they're also doing is updating the software on these, and that update removes the ability to run third-party batteries. By third-party, I mean like our Fogstar batteries or other makes of battery aside from GrowWatt. Now, that's pretty dirty if you ask me, and if you're running off-grid, like we rely on this 100%. We've got the generator, but apart from that, we're stuffed. So if GrowWatt do an update on this that suddenly stops our batteries from working, this is basically completely useless to us and we have no power. And that, as far as I'm concerned, as a customer that's bought and paid for the unit, is absolutely unacceptable. So I took the dongle out, and that means that this has not been online for about 6 or 7 months, and it's been working fine. The only thing is I haven't been able to remote monitor it. I just didn't want to run the risk of GrowWatt updating the inverter remotely and then us losing the ability to use it. It's time to say goodbye to this, and it's time for a pretty big upgrade. And it's so big I can't pick it up. And that upgrade is this. This is one of the biggest single phase inverters you can buy. And this is a 12 kilowatt inverter, so nearly 3 times what we've currently got. And it also allows you to put in 18,000 watts of solar power. This weighs about 50 kilos, so it's a fair lump to hang off the wall. But so far, I'm incredibly impressed with this. The build quality is exceptional. From what I've seen so far, there's like isolators on the side all built in. This panel hinges up, and it's all sealed and waterproofed. So this is IP rated. It can be outside in the weather. And like the quality of the terminals and the contacts in here, to be honest with you, second to none. Now we've got to try and get it on the wall. I'm gonna just disconnect everything here. Starting with the power out, it's gone. The generator power, that's not even plugged in, so that's not even relevant. Disconnect the solar. So now we're just running on battery power, and then I will also disconnect that and the inverter shut down. I'm also going to switch off the batteries using the breakers and the power switches so that they are all switched off. There's no power coming out here whatsoever. Out here is to just flick that breaker. So that means now that all the power cable all the way down is dead. So we've got no power coming into that workshop at all. Hello, socks. What's that in your head? How do you manage to get so filthy, boy? Huh? felt a drop. That side's on, I think. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, well it is up, and I mean, it's a bit of a lump, isn't it? The size of it is ridiculous. All of the inputs are on this front edge here. So the back here is stepped, which allows for the cooling area. So there's big fans under here that cool it when it gets hot. And so all the cables run in the front here. So it's going to be a bit tricky to get a nice neat install, but I think for the moment this whole setup is fairly temporary, because of course in time we will be building a powerhouse. This is not a permanent setup by any stretch. So because this unit is so far from the wall here, this tail just isn't long enough. It's got to go like this, and then it doesn't line up because it needs to go this way and all the rest of it. So what I might do is screw a couple of blocks to the wall here and put another board across. That means there'll be a gap behind, so it can still do all of the cooling that it needs to do, but I can space these and the other cables. They're not just going to be open in space, they're going to be supported, and then they can run wherever they need to run. I reckon about there we can position our switch and our shunt. Nice. That looks good. Solar's in, generator connection is in, the load out to the consumer unit is in, the battery communication, the battery leads. We are there. So, technically, we should be able to drop this down and switch everything on. I have taken out the PV isolator, the solar power isolator, because this has got one fitted on the side here. Let's go for it. So we'll start with the battery, always should be the first thing that you switch on. Break it on, break it on. Okay, technically, when I do this, something should happen. Oh, we've got green inverter lights. Screen has lit up. Oh, it's exciting. We're not getting, we've got a battery warning here. The communication is on this battery, and that might need changing actually. Let me just go into the settings here and change our protocol. There we go. Change the protocol and we're straight up. 57% battery, 53.3 volts, 75 watts going out. So 75 watts going out, that will be the standby power for the inverter. Providing that we are, we are up. How cool is that? 117 watts going out. Perfect. So we're actually about 3 months on from when you saw me install this, and I just thought I'd give you a bit of an update really. I am super chuffed with this. This has been an amazing bit of kit. It runs absolutely everything simultaneously. I can run my really big industrial compressor. We've got a 2 kilowatt mains water boiler now, which heats 50 litres of water. that can be kicking in and out. Like, we just don't have to worry now at all about how we are using power. We are just free to use it as much as possible, as much as we want. The only limitation now is batteries, and obviously that's only when the weather's a bit poor. But this has been literally faultless. We set it up on that day when I installed it, and I haven't touched it since. I have managed to get the dongle working. That's the only thing I've faffed around with afterwards. It took me a long time to set that up, but I've got that on the server now, as you saw me with the solar probably. Yeah, so it's just been great. It's absolutely silent. I haven't heard the fans kick on once, so it hasn't got even slightly warm. Obviously it's running well within its capabilities. So yeah, I'm just super chuffed. This is an incredibly expensive bit of kit, but I genuinely believe it is worth the money. Like, it really is light years ahead of the GrowWatt, both in software, in user interface and usability, but also build quality as well. Like, you can really tell the difference. Whilst it is a load of money for this size inverter, like, it's future-proofed us for sure. Like, I will definitely buy another one of these, and we can parallel them up and create quite a serious off-grid system here using these. So I'm very happy. But yeah, literally nothing to report. Fantastic. So if you've watched this crazy long video for this long, you're clearly a solar nerd or super interested, which I love. So I thought I'd give you a few stats. What do we have here? We have got 3 holes at 700 by 700 by 1.2 meters deep. That totals 1.77 cubic meters of concrete, weighing in at 4.2 tons approximately. With that, we have our posts. These were 4 meters long. They are 140 by 140 mil. We then have 6 of these boards. These boards are 200 mil by 50 mil each. They are obviously connected to the box section. The box section is 80 by 40 by 3 millimeters thick. And that holds in total 12 410 watt panels. 410 watt panels are in series, giving us a total of, I've had to make some notes, 4,920 watts and 375 volts. The 375 volts comes down through this cable into our combiner box just on one string at the moment. So we still have expansion in this for future solar arrays. And that then feeds down through the conduit, not yet buried, will be soon, into our inverter. Well, if you're still here, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. That's all for this one. I know it's been a very niche video and certainly a long one as well. If you've got any questions or queries, drop them in the comments. We always reply to comments. And yeah, I'm certainly very pleased and very proud of this. I'm sure it will stand the test of time for us here. So it goes without saying, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, as always, we'll see you on the next one. Referring back to the plan, because of course nothing's actually gone to plan. Spin your flipping thing. Yeah, too much of the, I don't know. I am stupid. We are, no idea. Idiot. God, I thought it was gonna go. It's just cool, isn't it? It's just cool. I'm really happy. Yeah. No idea. But old school, like school science class. No. You've got these are, oh no, I dropped it. You are joking, aren't you? I'm incredibly proud, and this is rubbish, to how we made them. I could put this pause in the edit, can't I?
Yeah, absolutely good.